What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now, we're sitting at about $60,000. We're up 4.83%. What I want to do, I wanted to point out an overhead resistance area. And if we're able to get a daily candle close up above this overhead resistance area, it may end up taking us to over $65,000. So Bitcoin's moving well right now. We want to continue to see the volume coming in. And what we're going to be doing here for Bitcoin, we're going to be starting on the 1 week time frame, and we're going to work our way down to the 4-hour time frame as well. So we can see if there's any divergences going on, spot some support and resistance, and we're going to dig into this, guys. So if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's dig into this. So first of all, we're looking at this on the 1 week time frame for Bitcoin. So you can see, guys, we're still up above the 20 EMA, and that's 20-week EMA. We're up above the 50, the 100, and the 200. Very nice here. Okay, so the main area that we're trying to have a weekly candle close up above was our previous high, and that was roughly at about $58,508. Okay, so that was our local high. We came back down. We had a correction all the way down to 42,514, and we're getting moving again in this range right now. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, what you can see here is price has been rising, making higher highs while we're actually having lower highs on the RSI. If you can see this here, so we do have some negative divergence on the 1 week time frame. So I want you to be aware of that. So if we're not able to hold the area that we're up to, I would look down to see if we could hold that $50,000. That psychological level would be a huge number for us as well. But right now the trend has been up, and we're just looking at that price action. If we get into the 3-day time frame, we're going to take a look here. You can see how we're challenging. Main thing we want is continued volume to get up over this $58,508. That's going to be important for us. You always want that big volume as you're going into those blue sky breakouts, because we don't have any price action up above this $58,508. That was our previous high. Okay, so in terms of the RSI, we're at 73 right now. Same deal as well. You can see right here was our price around 41,000. The RSI was up around 96. Then we pushed up to around that $58,000. The RSI was roughly at about 81, pushing up again, and our RSI is at 73. So I just wanted to point out that negative divergence that were taking place on some of the bigger time frames here. Okay, it's something that you want to pay attention to and just watch, keep on your radar. Now, if we get down to the 1-day time frame, you can see we're still up above the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200 right now. And we're going to check out, see if we have any divergence here. This is something that I always like to go through on all the time frames. Okay, so right here, we don't have too bad of a divergence. You can see back in here, the RSI ended up getting roughly to about 89, and then our price pushed up to that 58,000 or so. RSI before we sold off got up to around 80. And now you can see we're at 71 right now. So we have room to continue to make a nice move to the upside if we can get a daily candle close up above that 58,508. That's what's going to be critical for us. Next, I want to get into the 12-hour time frame. Take a look at this. So on the 12-hour, we are now trading up above that. You can see we had a 12-hour candle close up above our previous resistance, which is a good thing. We just want to see that continued swell of volume coming in. Right now, the RSI is at 72. On the 12-hour time frame, then we're going to get into the 4-hour time frame, where you can do a lot of swing trading. The main thing we were looking at here for Bitcoin was to continue to change this trend. So we had lower highs and lower lows out of this correction, and now what we're paying attention to are the higher lows. So you can see right here, higher low, higher low, higher low, and we just worked our way up, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So we want to keep that coming in along with those higher highs. It's all about the trend, guys. But even on the 4-hour time frame right now, trading up above the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200. Relative strengths at 73. We don't really have any crazy negative divergence here in the shorter time frame. So that's a good thing for us. It shows that it could give us more room to push to the upside. And I would also, if you're trading on the 4-hour time frame, I would put a trend line up in this area here and just make sure that we continue to stay in this uptrend. Now, if we get that off here, what I want to do was go to the technicals as we hit $60,000 right now, guys. And it's just a blessing to be here with you. I've been in this space since, $1,200 in Bitcoin. We've ridden the ups, the downs, all of it. And to see it at $60,000 right now, that's pretty darn amazing. So for the technicals for Bitcoin, we have a 0 sell, a 9 neutral, and a 17 buy. Oscillator 0 sell, 8 neutral, and a 3 buy. Moving averages 0 sell, 1 neutral, and a 14 buy. So basically our relative strengths neutral. Almost everything's neutral besides our momentum's going to be a buy, our MACD level is going to be a buy, and our awesome oscillator is going to be a buy. But what's pretty impressive here on the 1-day time frame, we're trading up above the 10 moving average all the way to that 200 moving average. It's a really big deal, all the way to that exponential and simple moving average trading up above them. So as we're looking at this, the trend is up, right? It's always important to pay attention to that trend. Guys, and as we step out here, what I wanted to do was go back to the 1 week time frame. And we're going to step out and really take a look at this. And remember, this is going to be on the log scale. Okay, so as we look at this, one thing I wanted to point out to you, chart patterns. Chart patterns can be huge. Okay, so you can see over here when we had this descending triangle and we had a massive 50% break to the downside, you can see trend line breaks here to the upside. So I always encourage people to use trend lines, chart patterns, all that different type of stuff, which can really help you out. And another thing I want to point out, what I like to do is look at the top from the last time. So this is on the 1 week time frame. Our very top for the week right here, you can see this climax volume that we ended up having, and you can see we almost had like a Marabazoo candle up in this area. Very little wick at the top, but many times that will mark tops. So you do want to pay attention to that. And then we went right into a bearish engulfing candle on heavy volume for the 1 week time frame there. So that's what I like to do. Is I'm watching Bitcoin now, I like to go back and get the history of Bitcoin, and you can see we really haven't had that blow off top yet. You can see at the bottom here, after we had that major sell-off which started the bull market right in this range, we had really heavy volume, so that was like a climax bottom. But in terms of the top, we have not necessarily had that yet. We've had some bigger volume, but we have not hit that climax top yet. And another way to look at this is if we get into the 1 day time frame. And also, guys, if you like the way I break this down for you and just make it more simple, not having tons of lines and stuff all over the place, let me know down low if you appreciate that. And also smash that like button and help this channel out if you do get something from it. So previously, when we're looking at the 1 day time frame here, if my chart will cooperate with me. All right. So you can see right in this range. So on the 1 day time frame, these are things we want to pay attention to. You can see that climax volume that came in, right? And the RSI on the 1 day got roughly up to about 95. So when you start to hit that 90, we need to pay attention to these things. So you can see how price was moving up, but the relative strength was actually going down. So we had that negative divergence. And we were actually up around 20,000. We wicked all the way down to $10,000. That's how quick these things can happen, guys. And that's the importance of taking profit in this space as well. But if we go back to this, I do not believe we've had that blow off top yet. Okay, you can see we're still moving up. If anything was going to be the blow off top, it could have been that 42,000 right there on that heavy volume, but we've continued to make that move out of here. So in my opinion, the top is not in yet. The next target I'm going to look at is roughly around that $65,000 if we're able to keep this trend moving to the upside here. But you know, guys, one thing I'll point out, and I've always mentioned this, don't ever be afraid to take profit. Okay, as price goes up, just taking a little bit off the table, it's going to make things a lot easier for you when we finally do get that top and we go into a bear market. Because, guys, human psychology and chart patterns, they always repeat themselves. We are going to have another bear market for Bitcoin. I don't care what people say out there who are saying, oh, because of the institutional investors and stuff, we're not going to have a bear market. I can guarantee you that we're going to have a bear market, and I bet you the drop will be at least 50%, right in that range. Okay, last time the altcoins went down over 90%, and that's the importance of taking your profits. I have, 50 trading books here, and each and every one of them talks about how people will say, oh, this time's different, or this happened, or whatever. Guys, for me, I'm going to be taking my profits, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Even if it keeps going up, then you have the ability to trade, and you're in that capital, and you can patiently wait for a great opportunity. Right? So don't ever let a great opportunity pass you by. You don't want to be the guys like last time, who held all the way through up to $20,000 and rode it all the way back down to $3,000. And you think about how much time you had with your capital tied up in a bear market. We don't want to have that. We want to run this bull market as long as we can, and then we're going to switch sides of the field. And that's the way it's done, guys. So if you get something from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.